What's up, everybody? It's MrmoviesXkicks, and as you can see, I have a new Bible. It is the Sneakers Guide, the Ultimate Sneakers Guide, as you can see. The review of the Ultimate Sneaker Book is coming up right after this. Now, I've been kind of eyeing this book online for a while. I'm really not a really big book reader. Not knocking anyone that is. That's just never really been my thing of reading books. But this is a very interesting read. It's kind of more an homage to all sneakerheads like myself. And the thing that I love about this book, it talks about like the different facets of the sneaker genre throughout the entire culmination of like from the start of the birth of the sneaker industry to now. And it's from a Melbourne magazine called Sneaker Freaker, if I'm not mistaken. They were established like around 2002. And the dope thing about this is obviously all of their work, but the thing that is kind of interesting to me is that they put all their articles in magazines into one book. So each time you're reading on a different subject of like either Jordan's or Kanye West, it says the article in the year that it came out, it like published at the bottom, which I thought was a very kind of unique spin on it. So like say if you ever really were deep into this magazine, you could go back and find it if you just want to get that article. I thought that was very intuitive and kind of dope aspect of the book. But this book is I just read it. It's 650 pages. And like I said, it talks about a culmination of kind of like all the collaborations through all the sneaker hype. So I'm not going to read all 650 pages, obviously, but I got a couple things that I'm going to kind of mark down and took notes. We're going to kind of talk about. They have a couple different segue throughout the books. Like, so right here, it says sneaker moments. And it says the last 15 years of sneaker history have produced more intense creative and progressive leaps than the entire preceding century. Once reserved purely for athletic pursuits, sneakers transcended the realm of fitness into 1960s to play a vital role in professional sports, street fashion, suburban culture, and the chapter we look back at the people and the partnerships and technological breakthroughs that collided over the past decades and have created the modern sneaker scene. From the rise of the Dunk SB, Adidas Futurecraft, and the magnificent, influential Kanye West, this is just the ultimate sneaker highlight reel. So page 21, it talks about different collaborations. You're gonna have right here. It just has they talk about like the old Nike ID from back in the day, like when you could make the Nike ID on the Nike website. I was like I remember that. I never did that, but that was like really before my time, before I was deep in the sneakers. But this right here caught me, the Jeremy Scott's right here, and everyone knows how Jeremy Scott Adidas, how he had the crazy. The thing that caught my eye was the bear. I remember the bear. What was it called? It was just the teddy bears. I think they came out in. I want to say these came out in like 06 as well. Yeah, 06. I think 06, 07 ish. I'm never gonna forget because Lil Wayne had those on, and it was like the kind of year in review. No, it was kind of like, I think it was the New Year's Eve, and he was performing on like BT, and I saw those bear shoes. I'm like, damn, them shoes is hot. Like, I really wanted them, and I never was able to get them because at the time I really didn't have the money for them. And now I love on page 33, they talk about a little bit of Bathing Apes. So they don't really talk about the history like I would have liked them to. Kind of how they kind of infected the culture as far as, they've stopped from like the shoes on to the clothing, like the Baby Malenko. They really didn't touch on that. It's just a little segue to them. But on the next page, on page 35, they talk about the Air Mags. They said that they had the McFlys, like 01. They say, let's see, September 11th, eBay. Someone paid $9,000. A total of $4.7 million have been raised. Because you guys remember they did a not auction, but for the raffle for these Air Mags. And I think if I'm not mistaken, they did, I want to say like 89 or so. I want to say like 2015, I want to say they came back out with these, and they did like that special raffle. I think it was like $10. You could enter as many times as you wanted. It's like 89, and whoever won, they got the obviously the these were the self lacing. The 2011 ones weren't the self lacing, but the ones that came out later in years were the self lacing ones, and they're like at one point going for like $50,000-$60,000. I think you can get them now between like 11 to 15,000, but that's still more than I'll pay. But the only thing that really disappointed me about this little one is they talk about Kanye in here a lot in the Adidas, that they have a whole because he's very influential on the sneaker industry. I mean, that's no joke. But another person that they really slept on, and they only had it for a second, but they had Pharrell Williams. Pharrell Williams was on here, and they had like this to pick of his human races, and that alone like shook the sneaker industry for a while. Like a lot of people loved. And Pharrell has had a long history with Adidas, like before Kanye, and that's kind of like they should have gave him a spot in this book. Like no, Pharrell's not to be looked on, like just passed over. Like those human race shoes were just like they really shocked the culture. Like they were going for thousands upon thousands at one time, and to come out with the array of colors, the red, the blue. I have all those colors except for the yellow. So. And also on page 45. Of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the Virgil Abloh right here with the 10, which is, of course, if you've been following my channel, I've reviewed damn near all the Off-Whites. And I love how they gave him like a little, because like you say, he kind of had to have it, just a little part in here. 59, it says 2018, and they talk about all the different kind of Yeezys. And also, the dope thing I like about this, they talk about like the prices, that like they put like a little like how much they were going for, and like it says they even have old pictures, like Kanye said these are gonna release, these are rumors, just a very homage, and they give the history of Kanye from starting from his from the college dropout Bapes to even the Reeboks, which I really forgot about the Reeboks one, to Louis Vuitton, like just a very introspective look on, like one of your favorite rappers slash designers. All the from, like I said, from Reebok to Nike to Adidas. It says right here. It says the 2012 Air Yeezy Wolf Gray resale $3,500, the Red Solar $4,200. And the Red October 5,000. Like that's dope. Like just to have that couple different little, hey, here's the resale price on it. And then they talk about the three stripes when he goes to Adidas. They have a couple different segues from his first 350 or his 750. They have the bottom like the resale, and it's like, oh, this was the one I was talking about. This is the only kind of little segue they gave Pharrell, was just kind of like, they showed the human race. I just wish they kind of would have gave him, like I said, a bigger plateau or bigger, shout, if you will, because he was real huge on the NMD. This right here, this page, it gives you the history of the dunks, all the different renditions of the SB dunks throughout the years. It has like a whole different segue of I think this part is dope right here, where it just says the old shows all the history of the SB dunk boxes on the side, which is just, like I said, the small things that in this book that they really thought about everything. Of course, the most historic, the thing that started sneaker hype, was the pigeon dunk, and they even talk about the riots, and not the riot, but the big melee they had in New York, about shutting it down, and the sneaker riots, and it's of course my favorite, the Air Max on page 215. It kind of gives you a outlook on Tinker Hatfield and how he kind of developed the Air Max 90, which is one of my all-time favorite shoes. And he actually developed a couple other different shoes from Nike. But and then if you go to page 335, all the Jordans from Jordan 1. Oh, do they have the unions in here? The unions probably was too late after this. Yeah. So they talk about from all the history from Jordans from 1 to, I think he's up to 30. Every single one of them are kind of in this book. Like, only hype when I see right here that they have the Levi's in here, because I think it cuts off like around, I think 2018, because a lot of the newer shoes, like from obviously 2009, 2020, are not in here. So just, of course, you have to give homage and praise to Jordan, of course. And then on page 429 of the Air Force One, which of course is a favorite shoe of a lot of sneakerheads. And then two more things I'm gonna talk about. This starter, like just the old school starter, like books, and not but was hats and jackets, like the starter. I remember I used to wear like a starter jacket back in the day, like the pullovers. Oh my god! Like when I saw that, I was like, wow! Like I knew starter went back, but I didn't realize they were this old. But it's just crazy to see like starter. Let's see. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is it's on page 547, and it's kind of the history of New Balance. And it kind of talks like, I didn't realize, I've just been getting into New Balance, but it like, that's the dope thing I love about this. It kind of has like a little brief history of it. It says inspiring. It's surprising to learn that New Balance has been around since 1906, but really history of remarkable brand since which starts in 1972. Young Jim Davis purchased the company at the point of New Balance was making 24 pairs of shoes by hand a day. Charting their growth in the mid 80s and 90s. So stuff like that, like I didn't know it's been around since 1906, and I guess the person that kind of rebranded it was in 1972, which kind of gave them a new, different, innovative look, and changed it up. Like New Balances in the past few almost decades, like they've become a very influential part of the sneaker industry, just like the 997S, the Bodegas. Like these have been almost kind of like grailish like shoes. I even have a brief history of like from the 70s to when they're making the shoes. If you go to the back, they have all like kind of old commercials, that you would see in ads in different magazines. So most definitely, guys, I would suggest you guys get this. It was a very good kind of must for, I think, a sneakerhead. And on the back, they have everything kind of alphabetical order that they kind of talk about, like all the top brands on the back. So like I said, just the ultimate, and this is heavy. Like this, don't think you're gonna get this and just be like, oh, like this is a very heavy book and a very deep. So I got it off Amazon. I'll put the link in the description on when I bought it, so you guys can buy this if you want. It was only $34. It was, sometimes I see this on Instagram for about $50. So good read, and it's a very like good piece, to kind of have up, and when people come in, they'll just check it out and read this. So drop those comments, guys. Let me know what you think about this book. If you're gonna get this book, and also, what is your favorite sneaker of all time? Like, drop me some comments of of the Kanye's, the Air Force Ones, the Air Max, the Air Walks, the Asics. They even have Balenciaga, Bape in here. They even talk about Bo Jackson's. It's a lot of things that I didn't even talk. Resellers, like it's a lot of things that this book kind of talks about that I just didn't touch on because it's just so much. It's 650 pages, so I couldn't touch on everything in this book. So if you guys love movie reviews, TV show reviews, video game reviews, and of course sneakers, think about subscribing to the channel. I would highly appreciate that. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a like. I would appreciate that one as well. Until next time, guys, drop those comments. Let me know what you guys thought about this review and this sneaker book. Until next time, Mr. Movie X Kicks is out, and I'll house you guys later.